Fantastic night of boxing here in Los Angeles, and a wonderful performance from the WBO world number one, Diego Pacheco, becoming the first man to stop Pacheco. Just a brilliant performance, showreel knockout. Well done to Diego, Jose and the entire training team. Big night for us. And over to you guys for questions for the champion. Put your hands up and the mic will come to you.
Miguel Marvio with Fight News. First of all, Diego, congratulations on the victory, man. We talked earlier, you said you, no doubt that you were going to put him away, man. How surprised were you after that body shot?
First and foremost, thank you everyone for coming out and supporting the event. And thank you to Matchroom, the Zone, everyone involved in this event, man. It was a great outcome, and I was just super happy with how things went. And I wasn't surprised at all, man. I landed that body shot, and I saw the way he was rolling on the floor, and I just knew he wasn't going to get up.
Diego, vicious body shot, man. You seem to kind of neglect the body a little bit, and that kind of got him a little bit weak to say like, hey, you know what, he's not targeting my body, so let me just cover my head. Was that part of your plan all along to kind of make him open up the body for you to land that vicious body shot?
Yes, sir. I didn't want to show him that I was going to the body early. I was making sure I landed some shots up top first, and I can tell he was feeling them, and he started covering up on top, so that opened up the body shot, and that was all she wrote. That body shot put him out, and that was it.
Diego, congratulations. This question though goes to your dad as the trainer.
I'm his trainer.
Oh,
His dad.
My dad.
oh, there he is. Yeah, well, let's talk to the trainers. Was that something you worked on in the gym?
Well, first
Was
of all,
that the thing that you were looking for? You said you were looking for it in the ring, but was your team looking for it?
yeah, first of all, I want to thank his family for trusting me to train Diego. Now his wife, has a beautiful little girl. My whole team here, I couldn't have done it with them. They're a big part of it, of this training camp. We knew when we were training, I told Diego this guy could take a shot in the face. Nobody had stopped him. And we were working for those body shots. And I told him, keep the distance, little by little. We'll cut the distance, and eventually his reflexes, his youth and all that, I knew he was going to maybe catch him with an uppercut or a body shot. He saw the first opportunity to body shot, and he took it, and that was history.
And give him a grade.
Diego, congratulations on your win.
Thank
Coach Eddie Hearn, I think everybody in the boxing world tonight saw that we're ready for another 5v5. Eddie, would we agree?
Yeah, always, but I think definitely if the 168-pound category comes up in the 5v5, I'm putting Diego straight in as our number one pick. I think Edgar Berlanga has obviously got a huge fight coming up in a couple of weeks' time. And I think it's just amazing to see Diego's rise from, the young kid that we were having to put on in Mexico, first of all, because he wasn't old enough to box in the UK. And, I think just that transition over the last couple of fights where, he became a father, everything's new, you've got sort of different things and priorities in your life. And, I think he's just in such a good place right now with his mind, with his life, with his team, that was a performance that I felt was coming. When I looked at the head-to-head this week and I looked at Diego, I thought, I think he looks a little bit different now. There's a new level of maturity, in the fact that he's gaining age and experiences and also fatherhood as well. And I think that's important because when he mixes with the top level, you've got to be mature enough physically, mentally, emotionally to deal with those nights. And I really feel like the progression, even when we look back to the McCallum fight, I don't think it was his greatest performance, but it was a different kind of style, and it was a different kind of experience, and it was a different time in his life. And I think now he's getting more and more comfortable with everything, boxing, life, everything. And I think the timing is going to be perfect. And when you look at the division, show me another fighter of his age that is exciting as this. You've got some great fighters in the division, Edgar, Munguia, and Billy. But no one like Pacheco is 23 years old. So on one hand, we don't want to rush him and get it wrong, but then you see performances like that, and you know that the call is coming in 2025, where the WBO send me that beautiful email to say Diego Pacheco has been mandated to fight for the world title. We've got to be ready. we've got to be ready. And actually, if you look at when you get that call, say it is Canelo, you know, fingers crossed Edgar Berlanga can do the business. But if it was a Canelo Alvarez, when you look at Berlanga, he never really had that bridging fight in between this level and Canelo, and that's very difficult to get. Ideally you want it, but you still can't turn down the opportunity. And he's ready, and he'll give everything. But with Diego, we've actually got time to have that fight to close the levels. And that's why I call out Munguia, and I call out Billy, and I call out those guys, because in my opinion, they're the guys who bridge the gap from where we are now to Canelo Alvarez. And when you jump to Canelo Alvarez, it's always a jump. But you don't want the jump to be too big. And one thing we've got is time. But, you know, we'll be led by Jose, Diego, David, Garcia and the team. And we'll be putting together, you know, our thoughts on the next opponent. And I think we're all on the same page, really.
Diego, congratulations on the victory. From seeing you open up for Munguia to headline in the same spot and like be in the same conversation with him, congratulations. I just want to say you had a slow start, but you kind of, I mean, once you picked it up as the fight went on. When did you see that that body shot for you to take? Was it that round, or did you see it right previously in the round before?
You know, at this level, man, you can't rush into anything. You know, you gotta take your time. You know, like just like I did. You know, I came out there boxing. You know, I wasn't rushing anything, and you know, I feel like that in my last fight, that was something that I learned. You know, I was looking for that knockout from the beginning, and it just didn't come. You know, and for this fight, you know, I wasn't rushing anything. I took my time. I made sure I didn't make any mistakes. And you know, that body shot was just open. I saw it in slow motion, and it landed perfectly, and that was it.
Diego, buenas noches. Hey, I was gonna ask, were you ever worried about him tonight? Did he ever threaten you in any way?
No, not really, man. I felt comfortable in there, just like Eddie said. You know, I felt really comfortable. I felt like I can see everything. I can see everything he was trying to do, and overall, I just felt great, man. You know, that's what hard work does. The preparation was amazing. You know, shout out to my team, Cristanina, Santana, Britos, Coach Benavides Sr., and the rest of the team down in Seattle, man. Thank you guys for the amazing work, and this is the outcome to the hard work we put in.
Us Reyes for Regular News. This question is for Eddie Hearn. You mentioned at the post-fight interview that you liked Munguia versus your fighter here in LA. Could that be done at Crypto Arena? It's like Diego versus Munguia.
I think it sells out that arena without doubt. I mean, obviously, you know, my relationship with Oscar De La Hoya is sometimes hit and miss, but as we know, Jaime Munguia left Golden Boy.
Yes.
And he's now with Top Rank. So maybe that's a fight that can get made, but we're actually in a great position because we've got our world title shot. It's locked in. You know,
I see Diego smiling. He likes that fight.
The Munguia fight, yeah, it's a tremendous fight. You know, I mean, look, you know, we'll see what happens with Edgar Berlanga. I believe he's going to give everyone a great fight on September 14th. If he wins, fantastic. If he doesn't, he's going to be a massive name. Munguia and Billy's a great fight. Bazinian, who we were trying to get for tonight, actually. But we no longer have to chase a shot at a world title. We've got it. It's just when it comes. So what we do in between that moment is really important, and it's more for his development to make sure that he's ready. But you know, don't forget, you know, it was a great atmosphere tonight. I mean, we did go 3 weeks after, you know, the big Los Angeles event, so it was difficult, but it was still a great atmosphere in there tonight. It's a great venue, and when he fights a name, it's going to do big numbers. And I just feel that Jaime Munguia against Diego sells out the Crypto. And, you know, I think it's a brilliant, brilliant fight as well. Tough fight,
Sure.
But I think style-wise, what a great fight, those two. And like I said, like, let's get excited about a 23-year-old fighter. You know, a lot of these fighters, 28, 29, 30, 32, 34. When you talk about young guys, you know, I mean, you know, Jesse Rodriguez is still a young man, but Diego's 23, and he's a 168 pounder. I mean, really, 168 pounders don't really peak till they're 27, 28, 29. So he could have another 7 years in the game. you know, hope the missus didn't hear that, 'cause she might not be too happy with that, but, you know, it's amazing to think, and like I said, on one hand, you don't want to rush, but on the other hand, when he's doing that, you also want to just let him go, you know, and see how great he can be. But that's Mr. Benavidez' job, to tell us when to press the red button.
Diego.
Oh.
So,
Diego, Jose, Eddie Hearn, congratulations. Definitely when Eddie mentioned Jaime Munguia name, the crowd got excited. And my question to you is, why do you think Jaime wasn't successful in Canelo's fight?
You know, I think Jaime is a great fighter. He's had a great career. You know, he's been a world champion at 154, and now he's at 168. And I just feel like he's a good fighter. He has a lot of heart. He has power. He's a good fighter, but I feel like he's missing the boxing. You know, I feel like he's not a boxer. He can't use his legs. He can't move around. And me, I'm an all-around good boxer. You know, I can box. I can bang in there. I can get in close, or I can box and just win the fight. So I feel like that's what Munguia was missing, and I think that's why he wasn't successful. But again, you know, Canelo's Canelo, so you know, he's a hell of a fighter, and yeah, man, that's that. You know, I feel like a fight with me and Munguia would be a great fight. I feel like the fans would love that fight, and let's get it on.
Question for Eddie over here. Canelo's running out of opponents at 168 pounds. Outside of Billy, there isn't a lot of top guys out there that the public could get interested in. Do you think 2025 could be the year for Pacheco
Yeah.
Canelo, considering he's also given a young, hungry guy like Berlanga a shot already?
yeah, I mean, Edgar's young, but Diego's really young, you know, and I think if you start thinking about, like you said, the options that are available to him, you know, you've got a young Mexican-American fighter who is going to be a big name next year, 2025. But I think that the WBO will call the mandatory probably at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. And realistically, that fight will present itself probably in September 2025, which is 1 year away, which is at least 2 more fights for us, at least, which are, after you fight Munguia and after you fight those kind of guys, I don't really know what else you do. I mean, we're mentioning those guys. There's other guys. Caleb Plum, great fight for Diego Pacheco. He's a great fighter. You know, he's got a great name, and hopefully we can make those fights. And but I believe that 2 more wins and Canelo against Diego Pacheco is a massive fight when the time comes. If he keeps performing like that, you imagine if he goes in and stops Jaime Munguia, you know, and he would stop Jaime Munguia as well. That all of a sudden, I mean, I don't think it's ever right to call Canelo out. He's just the lottery ticket for everybody, you know. And I've been involved in a lot of lottery tickets with Canelo Alvarez, Rocky Fielding, Daniel Jacobs, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, John Ryder, Edgar Berlanga. They're all my fighters who won the lottery when they got the call. And when the call comes, we're taking it, because it's going to change his life forever, and he'll never have to worry about anything again, and nor will his daughter, and nor will her kids. And that's what the whole point of this game is about. Belts, but more importantly, making sure that your family is secured forever. But when we take that shot, we're coming to win. We're not coming for the payday. And I believe he's young enough, and he's got enough levels to go. Timing is everything. A young fighter like Diego in his prime against Canelo Alvarez in a year's time, maybe he's the one. Maybe he's the one.
A more realistic fight, of course, would be Edgar Berlanga, because you handle Edgar Berlanga. Is that a fight that you absolutely have to deliver to Diego?
Well,
and is that happening also
I
sometime
think
next year?
Edgar will have to rematch Canelo when he beats him on September the 14th. And then, you know, we'll go from there. But I think that one of the problems in boxing is people look at Diego Pacheco and say, why would I fight Diego Pacheco? He's young, he's very talented, he's unbeaten, punches very hard, and they think that maybe the payday isn't there to fight him yet. But that's changing. and that will continue to change. So all these guys will fight if the money's right. And now we've got to make sure that we keep building the profile so that the money is right, and the money's right for him as well. Because as the risk goes up, don't worry about other people, he needs to get paid. But all of a sudden, see, Munguia would, when I call out Munguia's name, Munguia's probably watching that going, why would I fight Diego Pacheco? Well, once you do the maths and you start realising the numbers that could generate as a crypto, and the numbers that the zone or the broadcaster would pay for that, could be a big payday for Jaime Munguia, and a big payday for Diego. So as the name continues to grow, people will be more attracted to fighting. But in answer to your question, Munguia, see what happens with Belanga, and Billy, Bazinian, Plant.
Whoever answers the call.
Huh?
Whoever answers the call.
Whoever wants it, you know. I mean, again, you know, it's my job to put the fights forward, but these guys decide, and they've never turned the fight down yet.
Yeah.
Not one. We've never put a fight forward to Jose or Diego and David or the team, and they've gone, oh no. They accepted Saggio, they accepted Mbili, they accepted Bazinian. They were all fights that we were trying to make.
Yeah, for this fight, they brought all those names to the table, and Senior, when he told me, I said, let's make the fights happen, let's do it. And for one reason or another, it didn't happen, but so we came out with Selecki and took care of business. Now, hopefully, you know, we get one of those names, because I feel like that's all that's missing now. You know, people know I can fight, people know I got the skills, people know people are behind me, supporting me, and now I just need that name on my resume to really cement myself in the boxing world as one of the great fighters.
Cholo here, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Definitely want to say I appreciate the fact that you guys are not just waiting for a Canelo fight like so many other fighters have done in the past. Eddie, was it always in your plans to have a young man, Diego Pacheco, to fight around the world? There's not too many American fighters at his age that have fought in the UK and fought outside of the United States. Was it always part of your plan, or is that just what you were able to make the fights at the time?
Yeah, I mean, we're the only global promotional company in the world, and I think that's really important. You know, not just the UK, like you said, but he's boxed in Saudi Arabia as well. He was, you know, one of the first American fighters to fight in Saudi Arabia, back on the Joshua Ruiz card in 2019. And he probably were the first. You were on quite early that night, so probably one, if not the first American fighter to fight in Saudi Arabia. He's headlined in Mexico. That was his second headline in Los Angeles. You know, he's headlined in the UK. Right? I mean, it's just been an amazing journey, and you know, it's gone really quick as well. And you know, I think when I look back, and I remember, you know, there's a video of me introducing him to Michael Buffer when we first came over to America. Yeah, and he was 17, and I was looking at the size of him, thinking, I think he's going to be a heavyweight. This kid, he's 17, he's 6'4", and you're a middleweight at the time, weren't you? And it, you know, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs, but I'm sure you're making 168 good.
68 comfortably.
And that's a real asset, you know, for someone of his size and his reach and his power, and he's still growing as a man. And if we could, he'll definitely be 175 pound one day, you know. But right now, the fact that he's making 168 healthily is a big, you know, advantage for him. And like I said, his youth is a really big advantage, and his work ethic as well. And the work that he's doing with the strength and conditioning, that's going to be vital, because these guys, Canelo, Munguia, and Billy, they're very strong, and we've got to match them for strength, because I think we can match them for ability and you know, and more, but growing that strength and be ready for those tough fights in the trenches. But yeah, I think the development's been perfect, the matchmaking's been perfect, his performances have been perfect, you know, and we just got to keep going, no mistakes, just keep getting it right. Ellie?
You have an event coming up with 96,000 fans. What's the gate of something like that?
Sometimes not as much as a Canelo Golovkin fight, because the average ticket price is very different. You know, if you have a capacity of 96,000, which is what Joshua Dubois will be in a couple of weeks' time.
That's wild.
You know, the seats start from 60, 70 pounds, $100. Whereas if we, you know, when we did Canelo Golovkin 3, it's $300 for the cheapest ticket. So Yeah, the gate's significant, and I'm just really excited for Anthony Joshua to try and become 3-time world heavyweight champion. It's like Diego, those kind of journeys are very personal to me, and I'm nervous already for another massive Riyadh season event, and then obviously on to Riyadh itself in October for Bivol Beterbiev, which actually is going under the radar at the moment, but it's probably the best fight in boxing, really. And I think, although Diego, like we said, is at 168, he's going to have one eye on that fight like the world, and of course, Mr. Benavidez will definitely be having one eye on that fight as well. It's a brilliant fight.
Last thing, Eddie, are you going to have him ringside with you at the Canelo fight next week? And
Yeah,
are you going to run into the ring?
I'm not sure if he's got a holiday planned or whatever, but he should be. Yeah, that's.
We're gonna be there
yeah,
in Vegas.
Yeah, we might have to ask the WBO for a ticket.
Last one, congratulations, guys. Touching back on what Ellie just asked, a week after the Canelo fight, Munguia also fights out in Phoenix. Do you plan on being there for that fight as well, and just start scouting your future opponents?
Yeah, that's a lot of moving around for me. Honestly, man, right now I want to go back to Seattle and just enjoy time with my wife. We've been in camp for 4 months, and it's just a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. Days go by super fast, man. I wake up, go do my morning training, come home, eat breakfast, and then I gotta go train again, and then come home, eat, and then it's time to go train again. So my days go by so fast, and I'm just like, damn. I'm just trying to, enjoy time with my family, and really, just show them, give all my attention to them for a few months, for a few weeks at least, and then we'll see what happens.
Congratulations once again. And then last question for me, Eddie. Any chance that after you assess these upcoming fights, that we might see Diego again before the end of calendar year, or are we just shooting for 2025?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think he's now at the stage where he's a headline fighter. Unless he's fighting on a Riyadh season card, like a massive card, that's it now. He'll never not headline again. So obviously it's just getting the slot right, getting the date right. But, most fighters, don't like going in January or even early February because you have to train over Christmas, but this is the job that you're in. But, he's had a long camp. He'll have a couple of weeks off now. Then we'll speak to the team and start looking at the dates. There is a December 21st card in Riyadh, which is Fury Usyk. Do we get a slot on there or jump on? Anything's possible. But, for me, in my mind now, is the next 2 fights. That's it, because that is the last education and preparation before we dive into the real deep end. But, massive win tonight, massive statement, and very excited for his future. Last question.
Yep, Pacheco, congratulations on a great victory.
Thank
Eddie, I want to ask you, being Brit, I have to ask you about the Chef Clark performance today. Tough fight, last 2 rounds, you have to dig in deep, but you got the victory.
Great fight. Chev's had 10 fights. He was an Olympian. Of those 10 fights, 2 have been 12 rounders, 3 have been 10 rounders. He's already the British champion. So he's really ahead of his time, and that was a tough opponent tonight. He got caught around the back of the head, got hurt, but got through the fight, and that'll put him in great stead for the future. It was a great night of boxing. All right, guys, thank you so much for your support, and great performance, Diego Pacheco.
Thank you.